Well, hello there. Welcome back, everybody, to another video. Today, we're talking about riffs that beginners often play wrong. I had this video for last week when my guitar course was on sale, and I didn't get time to shoot it. And I was like, you know, I still want to do it, and I think it's important to know, for one, there are tabs down below if you want to see how I'm playing these riffs, but also that I'm not trying to dog on, you know, any kind of beginner guitar player. This is actually meant to be more of a lesson in the fact of just because you're playing the same note, doesn't mean that they all sound the same. You know, different notes, or the same note played in different spots has a different feel, different vibe, just overall different presence in the song. So we're going to jump on into these. Let me know if there's some other ones that you want, or if I'm playing some of these riffs still wrong, let me know. All right, let's go. Alright, so number one is Paranoid by Black Sabbath, and I want to reiterate that this is not meant to put anybody down. That's not the idea of this video. If anything, it's meant to teach players just to understand, oh, these notes sound differently. It's not so much like if you use this finger, you're playing it wrong. If you do this, no, it's just note placement. Like I said, I say it in a lot of videos, fatter strings sound fatter. So a lot of these riffs are played on lower strings, not on, say, the A string, or vice versa. Anyway, so Paranoid, I see a lot of people play it down here. So I see a lot of people play it down here, and I've played it down here before, too, when I first learned it. And then later, when I listened to it, I realized, you know, Tony's doing it up here, on the lower. It's the same notes. You can hear how it sounds different, though. Again, fatter strings sound fatter. So he's all the way up here. And then I see a lot of people go... And he's not. He's up here. And the reason why I know this is right, because there's no way to get those notes down here where you would be playing the power chord somewhere else. So basically what you're doing is you're going to bar 12 on the low E and the A string, and you're going to hammer on to 14 on the A. Now, of course, you have to tune to the song. I'm tuned to standard. But, now the little fill part here is... sounds different than... I'm telling you, this one loses a lot of that oomph that's in the riff. So we're just going to go 12 to 14 on the A. So he might be doing hammer-ons. It's 12 to 14 on the D. Hammer-on, pick, you know, do whatever you want to guess, but I've always hammered on. Now the second half of the riff is this part. It goes 12, 14 on the A, 12 on the D, to 14 on the A. So now when he does the palm muting section, he goes to just a normal E5 power chord up here at the 12th fret, palm muting it. You eventually go down to D, so it's 10 and 12. Now here he doesn't go like this. I see some people slide up or do it the other way. He jumps down. He goes to 10 and 12, 10 and 12, up to 12 and 14. So then you hit just a bar 12th fret on the G and B. So like I said, if you do it down here, how are you gonna get the? You have to go like that. Way harder to get that. So yeah, he's definitely playing it up here on that one. I just see a lot of people do it the other way. You know, technically the notes are the same, but they do sound a little bit different. Now next is Whole Lotta Love. Now I have a lot of distortion on my guitar right now, so before I was kind of changing it, but I'm going to keep it all the same on here. So forgive the tones are not matching the players. But Whole Lotta Love is another one that I see a lot of beginners miss one very crucial, and to me it's one of the things that makes the riff so cool. I see a lot of people play the riff like this, and a lot of you probably foresaw that this riff would be on your... That. And what I'm getting ready to show you stands out a lot more if you don't have a lot of distortion. So like when I have lots of distortion, it's harder to hear this. But what Jimmy's actually doing is when he plays that 5 on the A string, so he goes 7 on the low E, 5 on the A, then he plays an open D string. So you hear those notes are exactly the same, but what he does is he bends the 5 on the A up a little bit to where it gets that rub. It's just, you know, it's rock and roll. You have those notes kind of clashing a little bit. Hear that? Just that little bit there gives you that pagey kind of like bend to it. Listen to the track. If you haven't heard it before, that little section right there, if I haven't noticed it before, I should say, now you won't be able to unhear it. Now, Enter Sandman, another, you know, hugely popular beginner song. There's a bunch of different ways that I've seen this riff played. There's one way that James is playing it, and to be honest, his doesn't make as much sense to me. But I mean, I'm going to show you the way that he's playing it. But this one isn't to me as drastically different as the other ones were, as far as like a huge position shift. So I've seen a lot of people play it like this, and the issue is that whenever you play this riff, if you listen to the song, this note never stops. So when we play it like this, you have to pick your finger up, and then that note stops. So I've seen some people play it with an open G. The way James is actually playing it, which is kind of crazy. It's very unorthodox for me, but it's basically a reverse power chord. He plays 7 on the A string with his pinky, and 5 on the D string with his middle finger. Now, these fingers don't move. They stay anchored the whole time. And he uses his ring finger to play 6 on the low E string, and then pointer finger to play 5. He gets that's how he gets the walk down. See, it's weird for me to even play this. I've never done it like this before. And I wanted to include this one because people always tell me I'm playing it wrong. So I watched some videos of him playing. I'm like, oh, I have been playing it wrong. So this is how you do it. So it's just low E, A, D, back to the A, and then your low E string does the 6, 5, and then back to that 7. So say your prayers, little one. Alright, so we get to crank the distortion back up for this one, because it's death to open metal! And this is another one. You know, I see a lot of people play this riff differently. I remember an old video of Satchel doing a lesson, and he was talking about how he saw other people play it. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen other people play it this way too. And this one to me there's a very big difference in the way that he plays it and the way that I see a lot of other people play it. So the way I see a lot of other people play that main riff, I'll show you the way he plays it. So Satchel plays like this. So that one has a very distinct pull off to an open string, and the way that I see a lot of other people play it doesn't have that sound, and that A string is a very crucial sound. You know, so the riff that I see a lot of people play like this. How's it go? Something like that, and I'm like, it loses all that the high notes that you need, that sounds different than that one, even though they're the same notes. So he's going open on the low E string. So open, open, 3 on the low E string, and then open A. And then 1, pull off to open on the A string. Back to 3rd fret low E string. Does it again. Does it again. So the 3rd time, and on the 4th time he changed it, he goes, which is open A, 1, 2. I really think there's a huge difference between an open string note and a fretted note. So when I see people go, it sounds so different than. So open, 1, 2, and then 2 on the D, 1, pull off to open on the A, 3rd fret low E string. So. Yo, Back in Black, one of the literally the greatest riffs ever, most popular ones, huge beginner riff. And before anybody criticizes my ability to do the, I don't think anybody ever plays that part right. Angus has this weird bend that he does. I don't know if I've ever heard someone truly nail that lick the way that Angus does. But the riff that I actually want to talk about in that intro and just the verse riff is this part that I see a lot of people play. And they go like this, and I do it. I mix them up when I play, but which is a good exercise when you're a beginner. You know, there's nothing wrong with it, but Angus does play it a little bit different, and it does sound a little bit different. So the way Angus actually does that part is he goes, okay. Again, this just goes to the different string thicknesses, giving the note a certain pop that the others don't have. Listen to it. There's just a pop that's there on the other one. So again, the same notes, just play a little bit different, and it might be a nice little challenge for you if you've been doing it the other way. And there you guys have it. Now, of course, if I'm still playing some of these riffs wrong, let me know down in the comments. I think these are pretty close. You know, like I said, I watched a bunch of videos, and I feel like I had them down the way that the artist was playing them. So just let me know what you think down below, tabs, all that good stuff. And yo, we'll be back Friday with a new video. Woo, 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 woo. Alright, bye guys. Let's get your jam on now.